Hey everyone. Today we are going to analyze pressures that our characters face throughout the stories that we read. I want to teach you that characters have reasons for the things they do and the ways they are. When reading, you may ask yourself, what pressures might there be on this character? Do those pressures help me to understand the character's actions and decisions? Think on the main characters in the story we've read recently. Monday, we talked about likable and unlikable traits. Can you think of any pressures that your characters may be facing that cause them to act this way? So some pressures that we face and our characters face, sometimes we face loneliness. Sometimes we have pressures from our parents or pressures from schoolwork or chores or sports or pressures from our friends, pressures of being unpopular or popular like Will. Will was experiencing loneliness and he just wanted to be popular. So this was causing him to react to the two Allens in a very negative, less likable way. The pressure was also good in a way because it caused him to venture out of his box, and it caused him to muster up enough courage to walk across that grass and to show other people that he's funny and that he's worthy of their friendship. So sometimes pressure can be positive, sometimes it can be negative. And either way, the pressures that we face may cause us to act one way or another. And the same for our characters. Those pressures might influence the behavior, might even at times cause the characters to behave in ways that are less than likable, just like Will. So today I'm going to teach you how to create a pressure map, and that's what you're going to do with your notebook entry. We are going to track the pressures that our characters are under, and we're going to think on how is that affecting our characters' attributes that we're seeing. We are shaped by pressures in our life. When we experience pressures and struggles, it helps us to be more empathetic to others and compassionate and forgiving when others aren't perfect. So, for example, if you make a mistake, when somebody else makes the same mistake, you might be able to give that person a little more grace because you kind of understand how they feel because you've made some of the same mistakes. And so you want to treat people like you want to be treated. As you read, you're going to track pressures that your characters may face that will affect who they are. You're going to create a pressure map in your composition notebook, or you can use the online notebook for today, of your main characters. And as you read, track the struggles that your main character faces and how the attributes may change based on these pressures. Okay, so let me zoom in on this pressure map for a minute. This is an example of what your work might look like if you're doing this on your hard copy. And when you create your notebook entries, I may not have read your book before, or I may have. Either way, I should be able to look at your notebook entry and know about your character, know what your character is going through in the book. So take a look at this pressure map. This is Doris. There's a picture of her in the middle. So on your notebook entry, the online entry today, you're going to either draw a picture of your character, or you might be able to find a picture online that resembles what you have envisioned your character to look like. And you're going to upload a picture of your character into the notebook entry. And then I've created a little chart for you, and you are going to list some pressures that your character faces based on the textual evidence that's going on in your book. So this is an example of that. So in one column, this is internal pressures. Internal would be things that are going on the inside. Like Doris in this book, which I have no idea what this book is. I don't know that I've even ever read it, but I can know about the book based on the information that this person has put in this notebook entry. Doris is trying to be strong, and I know that because the textual evidence says what her family wants from her. She was trying not to cry, but she was not strong enough. So that's the textual evidence. That's what the book actually says. So based on that, I know that a pressure that Doris is feeling is she's trying to be strong. Look underneath right here where it says Doris cries herself to sleep, wondering if she could ever in her life have anything. So that tells me, based on that textual evidence, that she's feeling distress. She's in despair. She's lonely. These are the pressures that she's under, based on that textual evidence. Here, desolation is the pressure, and the textual evidence to support that is her dreams were full of searching and searching for things lost. So that tells me she's in desolation. So that's internal pressures that she's facing on the inside. Now, evidently there's a dog in the story because the dog is creating some pressure for her too. So first of all, the dog is needy. It's a puppy. And I know that the dog is needy because it says it's abandoned, it has its tail between its legs, shivering, so the dog is needy. So that's pressure on Doris that she has to take care of the dog. Here, the puppy's well behaved. It was a good dog. So that's good news. The puppy will die unless he's given a home. And the textual evidence that supports that is they kill it if it doesn't have a home. So she feels the need to, by giving it a shot is how they kill it. And so she feels the need to take this puppy in because the puppy's been abandoned and it was a good dog. So she feels like I can take the puppy in, I can take care of it, and it will protect the puppy. But that's going to create pressure for her because taking care of the puppy is a big responsibility. All right, so then she has family pressures. So internal pressures, the dog pressures, family pressures. Doris has got a lot going on. Her family pressures are, they want her to work. They want her to shovel steps. So possibly in the wintertime, maybe it's snowing, so she's going to have to go shovel the steps. The family's poor, so this is pressure for her. And the textual evidence says her father made little money. And then her parents are silent. They continue to ignore her. No one spoke. So if your parents are not speaking to you, you know something's wrong. So that creates pressure for you too because you're wondering what's going on. And then it says she has to act like a grown-up. And the textual evidence to support that, you try to act like you're grown-up about this. That's what they're telling her. Just try to act like a grown-up. So that puts a lot of pressure on a child too if you have to act like something that you're not. So this is a pressure map. So what you're going to do today is you are going to read your books and you're going to think on your characters and what kind of pressures that they're under. Pressure can be a good thing. It can be a bad thing. So today we thought about how characters are influenced by the pressures they're put on them. And sometimes those pressures tear them apart in different ways. That can be true for us too in our own lives, like when our family pressures us in one way and our peers or our school pressures us in a different way. So we know that conflicting pressures especially can be damaging, but pressure, when it's challenging and supportive, can be a good thing. You can pressure people to be kinder or nicer. Your coaches might pressure you in ways that help you to perform better. And you can pressure your friends in ways that help them to be smarter or deeper thinkers. Your teachers might be pressuring you to do your work so that you can become smarter, and it's a positive thing for you. So it can be positive, it can be negative. So today, as we read independently, I want you to track the pressures that your character has experienced throughout the book so far and start a pressure map similar to the one I showed you in the last slide, like Doris. This will be ongoing as you read, so you can upload a picture of your character into the notebook entry, and then you're going to insert, well, this says to insert text boxes, but I've already created a chart for you around the character to identify the pressures that they're under and use textual evidence to support those pressures. You will submit what you already know today about your character, but revisit this notebook entry and add to it as you continue to read your book. This can be written in your notebook as well if it's easier for you to track on a hard copy. Do the work with what you know so far on your online notebook entry for 11-12 reading notebook and submit it in Canvas today. Let me show you what that is going to look like for you. So this is your notebook entry, and it says, I can analyze the pressures that a character feels and how those pressures affect the character. It says draw or find a picture of your character and upload it into the box below. In the text boxes, and here's where we're going to upload that picture, you're going to write the title of your book and the character's name here. And then in these text boxes, which is a chart instead, you're going to list pressures your character is under, and you're going to cite textual evidence from your book to support those pressures that your character has faced that have caused their attributes to change throughout the book. An example of this work is in the video, this video that I'm showing now, and the slides that I just showed you on Doris. All right, so here's where you're going to list the pressures, and here's where you're going to list your textual evidence. So even if I haven't read your book, I can read your textual evidence, and I can see, oh yeah, I can see how that would be pressuring this character to feel this way. All right, have fun doing your work.